What's good, everybody on YouTube? This is your boy Akil McLeod, and I'm a full-time eBay and Poshmark seller. And in today's video, I want to share 5 tips on what everyone should do before they become a full-time reseller. Now, this video idea came to mind because I've been watching a lot of videos lately, and a lot of people have goals and New Year's resolutions on becoming a full-time reseller. And I think YouTube and Instagram kind of paints this picture of reselling being this glamorous lifestyle. You go to the thrift store, you pick up something for $2, or you go to a yard sale and you get something for free and it sells for $2,000 and you're set. I see a lot of photos on Instagram where people are shipping out 50, 60 packages a day. And don't get me wrong, sometimes those days do come about where you just have a great day and sales are booming and everything is good. But trust me, just like in any other business, some days are good and some days are slow. So you definitely want to do some of these things right before you quit your job and become a full-time reseller. So if you guys are interested in these kind of videos, go ahead and smash that like button and subscribe to the channel for more videos. And without further ado, let's just get right into it. Now, the first thing that I decided to do before I quit my job and became a full-time reseller was to definitely just save 6 months worth of expenses. Now, at first I was thinking I should set a certain number in mind, and at first I said 5,000. Then I got to 5,000 and I was still nervous, and I was like, okay, when I get to 10,000, I'll definitely have enough. But at the end of the day, I really think 6 months worth of expenses is the best way to do it, because you don't want to save too much money to the point where you have a year's worth of money and you're not really attacking it as aggressively as you can. And you don't want to save a little bit of money, maybe 3 months or 2 months, and you don't give yourself enough time to learn and make mistakes and just kind of grow your business. So I think 6 months gives you enough time to do a ton of research, to make a bunch of mistakes, and it gives you enough time to the point where you really start to make money. You can start to scale that and really turn it into a business. So the first tip that I have for you guys is to save at least 6 months of expenses. And my next tip kind of goes right into that, and that is to lower your expenses and just lower your bills altogether. Now, for me, when I decided to quit my job, I just wanted to have the lowest amount of expenses as possible. So I really just started to cut as many bills as I possibly can and just lower my expenses as much as possible. So for some of you guys, that might mean cutting out your Netflix, cutting out your Apple Music, Spotify, lowering your cable bill, like whatever it is that you can do so you can lower your bills. Definitely go ahead and do that, because you don't want to have a ton of bills and a ton of expenses hovering over you while you're trying to figure out and grow your business. So like I said, whatever that might mean for you, whether it's getting a cheaper car or taking public transportation, whatever it might be, go ahead and do that, because you have to keep the main goal in mind, and that is to grow your business and to be successful. So even if you have to take the bus or take the train, stop going out to eat as much, all of these things are going to have to get cut out in order for you to really grow your business and be successful. Next step on my list is to not tell everybody your plans. Now, when it comes to quitting your job and making a life-changing move like that, there's going to be a ton of people that's going to say, no, that's not safe. You need to have something with a little more job security, especially in these times where the government is shutting down at any given moment. You know, there's tons of people that's going to tell you things and going to try to talk you out of it. But trust me, you know what's best for you, and you know what you need to do in order to be successful and to really chase your dreams. So at the end of the day, you can't listen to everybody. Everybody's not built for becoming an entrepreneur, and everybody's not built for living a certain lifestyle. So if you go ahead and listen to everybody that's kind of confined to the same mentality and just want to stick to a 9-to-5, they're going to talk you out of it, and they're just going to make you feel as if whatever it is you're trying to do is impossible. So definitely don't listen to them, even if it's close family and friends, because trust me, even some of my family members was looking at me like I was crazy, because here I was at the time, 25 years old with a master's degree, and ready to tell my mom and my friends that, yo, I'm about to quit my job and become a full-time reseller. And honestly, there's still a lot of people that don't know that I do this full-time for a living. There's probably still some people that think I work in higher education, but that's just because I don't really tell everybody my business. And ironically, I'm sharing my information with you guys on YouTube. But for the most part, close family and friends, I really didn't even have this conversation with them. So like I said, don't tell everybody your business and just stick to the plan. Next thing is to start slow before you actually quit your job. Now, the number one thing that I like to tell people is to start selling things from your own closet first. That way you can become more familiar with the process in terms of how to ship, in terms of, you know, how long it actually takes for things to sell. Just getting used to customer service, getting used to paying fees. There's so many things that come about in terms of online reselling that you really have to start slow and kind of just develop a foundational system in order to really be successful. So if you want to become a full-time reseller but you just want to jump headfirst into it, I suggest that you start slow and just really learn all of the different platforms. And you might just want to sell on one platform. You might want to just do eBay. You might just want to do Amazon. You might just only want to do Poshmark. And trust me, every platform is good. Every platform has its pros and its cons. But by starting slow, you'll be able to figure out which one is best for you, or which 2 or 3 is best for you. Now, the next thing you want to do is to become more comfortable with change. Now, there's been so many different changes that I've made over these past couple of years since I've been a reseller, and the ride has been crazy. At first, I had my own website where I was selling just men's clothing because it was attached to my men's fashion blog. So I would sell a bunch of shirts and ties and blazers and things like that. But that really wasn't working for me because I didn't have enough traffic, so I wasn't selling enough items to enough people. So then I started selling more of my items on eBay because that's where I was making most of my money anyway. But at that time I was only using auctions because I figured that was the best way for me to make the most amount of money. But unfortunately that really wasn't working out either, because sometimes when you're using an auction you might not make enough, and sometimes when you use auctions you might make more than you expected. But that constant toss-up just wasn't good enough for me, so I started to incorporate buy it now listings. Then I eventually moved on from only selling menswear to start selling a bunch of everything. And when I say everything, I literally mean everything. I went from selling graphing calculators, and then I started selling diabetic test strips, roofing supplies. Whatever I can find in a thrift store or yard sale that I could flip for some profit is what I started selling in my eBay store. And at first I kind of just wanted to really have a really niche store, but I realized having a wide array of items in my store brought the most amount of traffic, and that was how I was able to make a good full-time income. So like I said, the amount of changes that I made from that point to now is crazy. There's even more changes that I probably don't even remember, because I do remember at one point I had a storage unit, and now I hold all of my inventory in my garage. So that's just another change that happened as well. So like I said, get used to change, because in this business, change is constant. And in 2019, who knows, on eBay and even on Poshmark, we might have to start charging sales tax and things like that. So like I said, change is going to come in this business, but for the most part, change is usually always a good thing. And last but certainly not least, is you definitely want to get used to making mistakes. There's been so many mistakes that I've made, and I've even made a video on that, so I'll drop that in the description and in the cards. But trust me, I've made mistakes that didn't cost a ton of money, but it definitely caused me to waste a ton of time. And I've learned from every one of those mistakes, so it's definitely more of a learning lesson. But trust me, there's some people, when they make a mistake, they just want to give up and quit. But every mistake that I've made has helped me propel to the next level, and it's just taught me something new. And even though sometimes I might still end up making some of the same mistakes, like buying something with a stain or not doing enough research before I buy something, these mistakes are going to come, so there's really no way around it. But trust me, get used to making mistakes, because you're going to continue making mistakes throughout your entire career. So if you're uncomfortable with making mistakes, trust me, just get used to it and just try to get them out the way as soon as possible. So that's all I have for today's video. So if you guys enjoyed that one, don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe to the channel for more videos. And if there's anything that you think I may have forgotten, go ahead and drop that in the comment section, because I love to hear from you guys and we can just keep that conversation going. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.